So we've selected our supplier. We're now going to reach out to them. This is what the screen looks like. And we can't just simply say, I got to communicate with Vic here. I can't be like, hey, Vic, what's going on? I'm not going to do that because it's two different cultures. Now, the Chinese culture is my personal favorite. I love Chinese culture. I love it so much. It's vast, it's great, but it's two different cultures. If you say, hey, what's up? They might take it another way. Usually, Chinese people call you dear a lot. They say, hello, dear, how are you? And they don't really mean it in an endearing kind of way. They just mean it like, hey, bro. Like, that's really what they mean, dear. So, we have to find a strategy to communicate with these suppliers. And fortunately for you, I can offer you a supplier contact chat template. It's a template, it's a copy and paste template. You just copy it, you paste it, and you at least communicate like your original form of communication with these suppliers would be good if it comes from the supplier contact chat template. I'm going to show you two things. I'm going to show you what it looks like, and I'm going to show you where you can get it. So this is a supplier contact chat template. It might change slightly. To actually get it, you can actually only get it in one place, and that place is ecompetesolutions.com. So go to ecompetesolutions.com. It's free, by the way. You don't pay anything. And then here you select that I'm already selling on Amazon and move on to the next step. I'm already selling on Amazon, right? Once you put I'm already selling on Amazon, you'll see these three selections at the top. Free Amazon seller tools. And here you can put copy and paste template to contact Alibaba suppliers. And then just put your competitor product URL there. That's not the actual product, that's just a placeholder, and then your email. So put your competitor product, just like, you're making a product on Amazon. You're making your own product, but it's similar to somebody else's. You're actually improving on that product. So you put that competitor product URL right there, and then you put your email, and they'll send you over the supplier contact chat template, something that you just copy and paste. It's really, really easy. I'll show you how it is. So here I'm going to message Vic, and I'm going to use the supplier contact chat template, which is basically here. Now, I'm going to explain the whole template, and then we're going to pretend we're messaging Vic, right? So here's what it reads. Hello, my name is blank, and I'm the lead purchasing agent of blank. So fill in the blank. My name is Alex Martinez. I'm the lead purchasing agent of Alex Martinez Amazon store. Now you can put your LLC in there, or you can put your Amazon store in there. Notice how lead purchasing agent is put there. Lead purchasing agent is put there because you don't want to put CEO, you don't want to put president, because it makes you kind of look small. For example, like Jeff Bezos is the CEO of Amazon. You think that Jeff Bezos is going around looking for different suppliers? No, he's going to the moon and stuff. So basically, CEOs and presidents, they're all doing other things, other bigger things. They're not looking for suppliers. So if you put that you're the CEO, they're going to see you as a small company. Now, next part. We would like to manufacture a product similar to this one, and then differentiation idea. So this is what you do. You go back to your browser, you look for your product, right? And I'm going to do, I don't know, probably tapestry because it comes in different designs. And here, all tapestries are the same. I just got to pick one that demonstrates exactly what I want. And in this case, I want a tapestry. So I just got to get that psychedelic. Cool. I'm going to go back to my supplier contact chat template, and I'm going to just paste the URL right there. Okay. There it is. And then I'm going to put my differentiation idea. Tapestries can only be designs. So I just have to look for a design. See, all these tapestries they're the same thing. I just gotta look for a design. So Shutterstock. Now I'm gonna be mentioning this quite a bit. But don't give out your real design until you know for sure you're ready to work with a supplier. So I'm gonna do a fake design for the meantime. And maybe I want to work with that supplier. Maybe they give me a cheap enough price. At that point, I'll be like, oh, supplier, my bad. Here's the real designs. My designer was like, whoa, this one's so much better. Like, you just gotta let your supplier know that you made a mistake. Oh, here's my actual design. Because otherwise, actually, I was doing a live class and one of my students was like, yeah, that happened to me. I was working with a supplier and then they don't want to work with me anymore because it was too expensive and they stole my design. So yeah, don't give your real design out. Um, Trippy skull design. I don't know. Shutterstock is great for designs. Uh oh, whoa, okay. I've seen a lot of mushrooms in tapestries, and then now there's an alien that's super trippy. So this is gonna be my fake design. Oh, it's cannabis based, so it probably won't be allowed. But anyway, I'm gonna take this link. I'm gonna copy it to my supplier contact chat template. And there's my link. Oh, I might have to do something here. I don't think it's, yeah, I might have to paste it. Uh, yeah, that one's better. I like pasting the link better. I don't think this pasted correctly because if I'm going to paste this template, I need to make sure that the person that's receiving it, who's Chinese, sees that it's easy as possible to read it. It's easier when the link is there, not when like the blue thing is there. When the blue thing is there, actually, we have time. I'm going to correct this here. I'm going to put a tapestry, but I'm not going to put the blue link. I'm just going to put the URL. Oh, look, that's the same product. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that. And I'm going to take this out, but I'm going to paste it in a special way. Yeah, where it's just a link. Excellent. Okay. It's still blue, but now it's a link. And in between, I'm going to put the instructions in all caps just to make sure that the supplier gets it. It's just a way to easily communicate to the supplier. Make it a unique product by putting my own design below. So, okay, it's the tapestry with my own unique design with the alien that's smoking out of like a bong, right? Which is obviously a bad idea. But okay, so here's the first part. Now, see how the supplier contact chat template is divided into three responses. The first one's not really a response. The first one's just like an initial outreach because you're not really responding to the supplier. You're actually just speaking to the supplier. So the first initial outreach, you're asking three things. It's three parts. You're asking if they can actually do it. You're asking how much it is in certain kind of denominations. And you're asking how much is shipping. Now, I always recommend quoting shipping for 1,000 pieces. I'll explain to you why in a little bit. But you want to ask, what's the price at these denominations? But you could be thinking of buying 2,000 and higher, or you could be thinking of just buying 300, but still ask for it in those denominations. Why? Because you want the supplier to divide their prices. Because you could just not ask this and just be like, hey, how much is 300? And they'll just increase the price thinking that you know nothing. And you won't get that strong a price and you'll have a bad time selling on Amazon. You want them to divide their prices. So like 2,000 can be super cheap, 100 can be like whatever, but like the prices are so separated that you might get a better price for 100 if you're interested in ordering just 100. That's why you got to ask for those denominations. So again, can you do this for me? How much does it cost and how much is shipping? Now, I like to quote for 1,000 pieces because we're going to get to this later, a little bit later down the road. But the only real way to make money on Amazon is to order 1,000 pieces. Not ordering 100. You can order 100, which I'm going to recommend you order 100 just to test it out, just to see if your product actually sells. Because you don't want to order 1,000 and then it just stays on the Amazon warehouse and you get charged a bunch of late fees. Um, so that's why I like quoting for 1,000 pieces because that's when you really make money and you're gonna know you want to know exactly how much it is when you order 1,000. You might be ordering 100 at first, but that's not really it doesn't really make sense to make money on that. It's just to see if you can actually sell the product or not. So yeah, I like to ask for three things. I like to ask for, can you do this for me? How much does it cost? And how much is shipping? And then they're gonna respond to you. For the first time, they're gonna respond to you. They're gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, 100 to 500, that's 5 for your dog bed," which is actually really cheap. And then that one is 4, that one is 3, and that one is 2. And then for shipping for 1,000 pieces of a dog bed, that might be $2,000. Probably more, honestly, because dog beds are large. But yeah, it's $2,000 DDP. We're gonna learn about that a little bit later. Search terms or logistics terms. And this is the first initial response. We're done with the first initial response. Now the second, okay, it's not a response, it's initial outreach. The second one is a response. So we're responding to what they're saying. When working with a supplier for the first time, our company requires an initial test order of 100 units in order to test mass production quality. Are you willing to meet us in the middle at, and then you enter the prices for 1,000 pieces per product for a first order, test order of 100 pieces. I'm gonna change this test order to like 300 pieces because it's not easy to get somebody to agree to give you the pricing for 1,000 pieces, but to only give you an order for 300. Because that's what you're asking for. You're basically saying, hey, I'm a really big company and I like to test my suppliers out. This is the first time we do business together. Can you just give me the pricing for 1,000, but I can only order 300? Is that okay? And really, if your product doesn't sell well, then you could just never speak to this supplier again and never order from them again, right? And then just be like, okay, my test order is for 300. It didn't go well, so I'm not going to order from the supplier anymore. Which technically, even if like it was the actual situation where you tried a test order and it didn't work out, you would probably not speak to that supplier anymore, according to this information. Like because when you're working with a supplier for the first time, your company requires an initial test order of 300. Maybe that 300 didn't go well. So yeah, you probably wouldn't even talk to that supplier ever again if this were the situation. But the real situation is, the product just didn't sell well. And that's why you're not speaking to the supplier anymore. Your correspondence would be much appreciated. Will help build a good, long-lasting relationship. Once approved, your company's purchasing quality will order me more. Yeah, so like if you're done with your order of 300, right, and it goes well, you want to order 1,000. Therefore, yeah, that's why you're putting that because we're going to order 1,000 if it goes well. Okay, enterprise for 1,000 units. They quoted us at 3, so I'm going to put 3 here. 3 per piece. Say, hey, can you give me 300 for the price of 1,000? $3. Now, if you don't get it at that price, you don't get it at the right price, maybe you get it like 50 cents off or something. That's still okay as long as you're profitable, as long as it makes sense. Amazon is filled with many variants. You just got to be sure that you're profitable and everything makes sense on your end. You're the captain of the ship. I can only show you how to manage it, drive your boat, things like that. And okay, so you're going to ask for a test order. You're going to ask for that test order at $3 per piece, right? Then here, the things in red, you don't have to copy and paste. You want to get them to agree to a lower price, use negotiation tactics, which we're going to talk about later. And then we're going to go to the third response. Now, when everything is okay, you've lowered the price and you've talked to all of your suppliers. I recommend you speak to a lot of suppliers, okay? Don't just speak to one, speak to a lot. Let me actually show you what the Alibaba that I have looks like. This is where you communicate with suppliers. There's a lot of them. I actually use this Alibaba account for just demonstration purposes, and yet there's a lot of people just messaging me. So there's a lot of people that are hungry for a sale. You're going to be speaking to a lot of people, and I recommend you do because maybe even if it's the same product, even if it's the same product, I want you to speak to multiple suppliers that's selling the same product because then you make it a competition amongst them to see who gives you the cheapest price. That's why you got to speak to a lot of them. And it's so easy. All you got to do is use the supplier contact chat template and send it out to like 20 people. And then you get the lowest price possible, right? So you're speaking to a lot of people. You finally lower the prices. Maybe you look at the next video, you look at negotiation tactics, and that's how you lower the price. But now everything is good. Now the third response, or technically a second response, what is the cost of a sample plus shipping via DHL to, it doesn't have to be DHL, it could be UPS. Via zip code 33154, we'll be refunded for the sample cost once we make a large purchase. What is the standard production time? I'm asking two things in the second response. I'm asking, what's the cost of shipping a sample? And will I be refunded for the sample? I guess I'm asking for three things. What's the cost? Will I be refunded? And what's the standard production time? Now, it's cool to know what the standard production time is because if it takes like 45 days for you to begin making something or maybe to receive it, or I don't know, you can incorporate that into your math because you're going to have to know what your standard production time is for when you reorder. Because if you're doing a order of, let's say, 300 pieces and it sells really, really well, you're going to have to reorder, but you're going to have to do the math when you reorder. You might have to order 1,000 pieces in this case, which I do recommend. Even if it doesn't sell, even if you only sell 100 a month, you should order it and have it be at your house. What is the cost sample via DHL? So I put a Miami. This is actually Miami Beach 33154. You don't have to put that zip code. You can change that zip code to whatever zip code you're in if you're in the United States. But if you're like me and you're not in the United States, you can actually put whatever country you're in, and then be via DHL to like Spain or something, right? And then that they'll quote you. That supplier will quote you and say, "Hey, this is how much it costs to send a sample to Spain," because they gotta send a sample to you. They gotta say 1 unit. There's really 3 orders you gotta worry about. There's this, the sample, which is just one. It goes straight to your house, and you got to see if it's nice or if the arm is breaking off easily or something. If it's fine, then you order your test order. Your test order is just to see if it sells well. And if it sells well, then according to that template, you're going to placing a large order, which is usually 1,000 units with that supplier. So it's 3 orders. Now, the third one usually goes straight to Amazon, but I recommend it goes straight to your house if you have the space. If you don't have the space, you can put it in the Amazon fulfillment center if the math makes sense. And then once you're done with that, you've ordered your sample, you're done. Once you've approved the sample, you're basically ready to move on to the next stage. But that's pretty much it. That is a supplier contact chat template.